Today on Men Calls the Heart, we talk about friends, family, and showdowns. And we have special guest Paul Greene in the studio. Don't go anywhere, Hearties.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Hello, Hearties. Welcome back to AfterBuzz TV.
It's our song.
It is our song. So
Thanks for lifting a child or something. I'm ready to present.
We are here doing Season 4, Episode 4, Change of Heart.
Here we go.
Here we go.
There we
Yes.
go.
Wow, it's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
It is beautiful.
We got it.
Beautiful.
Congratulations.
Yes. Everyone, we have special guest Paul Greene in studio.
Hello.
Hello.
Thanks for coming in.
Thanks so much for
Yes.
joining us. Your new character, Carson Shepherd, just came to town.
Yes, he did.
Where can everyone follow you on social media?
Yes, on Twitter it's Paul Greene Media. On Instagram it is PG Tipper with 2 P's. It was a nickname when I was a kid because my name
Like
is,
the T?
yeah, because PG
Tips.
is my initials, and then PG Tip, PG Tipper, PG Tip Top Hippopotamus. It just keeps going. And then on Facebook is just Paul Greene. There's my personal one, and there's that I don't go too much, and
Okay.
then the fan page one, which is easier to find.
Go to fan page 1.
That's the
Awesome.
one you want to go to, yeah.
Awesome. And James?
You can follow me at James Lott Jr. all over the world. Just Google my name and I'm come up. And I will
Yep.
come. I'll be in your presence.
Yep, and I'm your host, Marisa Serafini. You can follow me on Twitter at Serafini TV. Of course, Maria's not here.
Yes. You were asking
sad.
already. She couldn't be here today.
Unfortunately, she's sick. The
She's
flu
sending her
got the
love.
best out of everyone in
Well, she's
here
not the
now.
only one. There's a lot of people out
I
there.
know.
Yeah, and
Everyone's like
And
dropping
if you
like
have small
flies.
kids, you get sick a lot sometimes. You just pass it around. She has a small son.
Yes.
Pass
So
it
our
around.
love out to Maria.
Yes, our hearts out to Maria.
Our hearts out
Very
to
good,
Maria,
kids.
yes.
Our hearts. That's right.
So great. Change of heart. Real quick thoughts. James.
Again, I don't know what's going on this season, but there's a lot happening this season.
Yeah.
It's like they're packing it. I mean, we've been getting usually there's like an A and B story. On this show, maybe A, B, and C story, but there's like A through F.
Yeah, you're right.
Seriously, we got introduced to like a new couple, kind of. In the middle of all this stuff that's going on, Murphy and it's like so it's kind of we'll talk about that in a second, but just like it's kind of funny how it's like there's a lot of stuff going on everywhere. So for me, it's like I watched it twice and I still think I can watch it one more time. Like it's just so much stuff going on, but I loved it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So Paul, now you have come to Hope Valley and to this show. What are your thoughts about this episode?
I actually messaged Robin, one of our writers, today, and I was like, I just loved what you did and how it turned out. Because, when you originally read the script, and then sometimes what you see on camera can be two really different things from what they edit, what they cut out, and what they have to squeeze for time, and sometimes how you think it should be, and then what it looks like. I thought it was just awesome. It was moved really quick, and like you said, there's many stories, and it's such an ensemble piece. And
Very
lots
much.
of surprises, and
Yes.
I
Yes.
came in with a bang.
You did. We had
did.
two people came in kind of introduced with a bang last night.
We did. Let's start this episode with a bang, shall we?
Yes.
Carson, your character, comes into
Yes.
town, saves a little girl, which
Yes.
is like already honorable and heroic. So good on you. Good on you.
But you were kind of tired afterward. You kind of hurt a little bit afterwards.
No, not tired.
Wait, but it's like it was kind of funny when you said you're like, I'm gonna sit here.
I broke a rib, man.
But you're like a strong man. Like what's
Cracked
going on
a rib.
there?
Yeah, I cracked a rib on some gravel. That Hope Valley Main Street is
That's harsh.
got some chunky pieces of gravel, and the concern and what stuns me is I can no longer work at the railroad.
Right.
Like, that's what that moment's all about.
We're surprised by that.
Yeah, and so there's the world's kind of crashed down on Carson in that moment, and I'm happy I saved that little girl, or
Yes.
at least her doll.
Pity
That
Betsy.
seemed it's a good thing the doll didn't get hurt, but yeah, it's I was laying there on the ground. Now what am I gonna do?
Yeah.
And there's so much about Carson that will be revealed in the next several episodes that will make it all make sense. A lot of this stuff, which I can share none of.
Oh, okay. You're already laying that down right now.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, you wouldn't want me to.
Okay.
Truly, they would. It would be like a sugar rush. You'd be like, "Oh, that's so great," and then you'd hate me because I gave you like cotton candy and you're crashing from it because no sustained value in giving
Yes.
you a spoiler. Nobody wants a spoiler. They want information.
Yes, they do want information, but we can't spoil. We're not gonna spoil.
No spoil.
No,
But if you want to spill some, you can. It's just us.
It's a spoil-free zone here, but it's not a spill-free zone. Okay, I got it.
Everyone who's watching us, so we can assume that they've already watched the episode. So
that's right.
hopefully.
So we can.
But
Yeah, hopefully it did. Hopefully it did.
Hopefully,
That's a good question.
If you did,
Hopefully.
sorry.
You're almost sounds like you're saying Hope Valley, but you're saying hopefully.
Hopefully, yeah.
Hopefully, Hope Valley, Hope Valley. We're in the valley
They're
where it's
interchangeable.
91 degrees here,
It
by
is.
the way.
We are in the valley.
And where we live on the other side of
Yes.
town, it's like 65.
65.
And
Completely.
it's somewhere between 12 miles and 20 miles.
20 miles. We're trying to figure that out right now.
So it's hot
Guys
over
can't
here
handle the
in
heat.
Burbank.
Yeah, we can't. No. I live near water. I like water.
It's nice.
It sure was not
enjoy it.
hot when we were filming this episode.
Oh, you probably was cold.
Was it? Well, yeah. What time during the year was this?
We got
Was this
started.
Summer, winter?
No, it was coming into October already. September, October, November, and we had so much snow at the end that they had to like digitally remove some of it.
Oh.
Which you're not gonna see yet.
Yeah.
But that's
Wow.
towards the end of it. There was so much snow, and they're talking about moving our filming forward a bit so we can avoid some of that snow.
I see.
Cold, so cold in Canada.
Yeah. Well, we were.
We were there.
It, was
We were
cold.
there
It wasn't
January.
that bad though.
It wasn't that bad.
Like 40. It was fine.
Yeah, it wasn't super
That
cold
was
there when we were
tolerable.
there. I'm sure it could be colder. I'm sure it could have been.
It can be colder.
Because it was colder.
Yeah, it was colder.
Yeah, but my thing with your character Carson, it seems like he knows some medical
Yes,
stuff.
I saw
Does he
that.
have a medical history?
Oh well, that's just one of those things that I can't tell you.
But I love how you stopped yourself. The character stopped. Was like, well, I mean, she's like,
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna see. I have a very diverse, complicated history
Okay.
in Carson. It ain't just one thing that's going on with him. It's many things that caused me to have lots of secrets and lots of mystery, and nothing's really straightforward until things do come out bit by bit. It's an unraveling. It's an onion.
Multi-layer.
It's very multi-layered.
we're gonna cry
back
too
in.
at the same time.
Probably.
Probably.
You probably will
Okay.
at some point.
Well, there was another point in this episode where you had a picture that Faith returns to you. What is the picture? Is it your wife? We know your character is a widow. Is it? I have a feeling it's your wife
Yeah, I
that you're
think so, too.
probably holding on to.
I mean, yeah. I mean, there was an edited part.
I love these things. You're good.
Skirt around us.
Yeah,
There was a picture.
I could see how you would think it would be my wife.
Okay.
I could totally see that. And it would make sense if I was a widower that it was my wife.
Yeah.
And there was a camera angle that actually revealed who the picture was, and they must have edited
Cut it out. We didn't see
Okay,
it. We
yeah,
didn't
we
see
did.
it.
No,
We
they
don't
didn't
know
see
who
it.
it is.
No,
We didn't see it.
Nobody saw it, but it was there.
But you know what it
It's
is.
somewhere, yeah, in the extended. I wish I could tell you.
Her predictions are coming true. So
I know.
You may be right,
My
Marissa.
predictions are like scary spot on.
I know.
Really?
Yeah, her this season they've been
They
really
will
good.
so far. They have been.
Yeah. Well,
So maybe.
well, yeah.
So maybe.
Well, maybe you could be exactly true. What your
I feel like you're
prediction-
messing with me right now.
I feel like I'm messing with you too. Yeah.
Okay, so Carson, your character should be really fun to watch, though, and because he seems already, sad, somber about something, and we have yet to find out what it is.
It was a rough time in history. I mean, there was a lot going on. Just
Yes.
what we take for granted, shooting off a text or
Yeah.
finding our
James.
way to
I know. That's what I was
to
like,
Culver City and
Yeah,
12
I
miles
know, right, I
away.
know.
We can get there in
Yes.
without traffic 20 minutes. It would take days to get and have to face bandits and have to face the plague or whatever.
Yep.
We take for granted that they're just came out of their air conditioned room and they're happy go lucky. There was a lot that it took back then, and that was a fun part, was doing the research on what, especially towards the end of the episode where I go in and I tell Abigail that I used to work the chuck wagons at the railroad. So I researched what those were, and they're like the food trucks back then.
Right. No, right.
And it was so interesting to go back and listen to the music. And me, one of the things I like to do as an actor is have music with from that time that helps me sort of get into the space of what I'm doing. So depending on they gave the pictures and the feeling of the time and the music, and doing like watching old documentaries and just to find out really what it meant to work on a food truck, a chuck wagon, which was their food trucks for the railroad. So that when I tell Abigail that I would work the chuck wagons at the railroad, I'm not just saying a bunch of words on a page. It's actually like I had these images. I'm like, wow, and my grandmother was alive back then.
Yeah, yeah, right.
Wow.
And my grandma has all these stories about what Alberta was like, which is you know that part of Canadiana or the frontier, you know, the western world.
Right.
And asked her about, because she was around when there was horses and buggies and.
Fascinating.
So yeah, there was more somber dudes around back then who'd lost their wives to the simplest things like a dang cold.
Yeah.
How depressing.
Life expectancy isn't that high back then.
No.
Certainly not. You
Western
hope
medicine.
you hope you don't get a toothache. You could die. They yank it out. You can get infected, and that's the end of your hopes and dreams for a family. So yeah, there's so Carson has good reason to be a little somber, which you will find out. Here.
Okay.
So one of our hi to all the Hearties who are watching.
Yes, shout some out.
So Kelly Fogg, Jennifer Carter, Nicole
Paul,
Torra.
would you like to shout them out?
Yeah.
I think they'd appreciate it.
Of course. Look at who's here. Hi everybody. Nicole Chalpera. Well, that's the first time I've ever heard that word in my life. Chalpera. Michelle Randall. Hi, Christine Frandelberg. Where's Christine from?
I don't know. We'll find out. Tell us.
Hearties, let us know.
Where are you guys from?
Lori McKinney, Lori Pearson.
Well, you do it
Lee
faster
Beth.
than me, don't you?
Nancy.
Lee Beth. It's hard to see. They're so small.
Lori Pearson. I heart knit.
Yeah, that's another one.
She likes to knit.
Likes to knit.
Wow.
She's hard knitting.
Yeah.
Hi, Hearties.
Yes.
Hi, Hearties.
But someone's asking you if you really work on your backstory, which you basically just told you he was working on his backstory.
As an actor, that's the best part.
Yeah.
And it's the difference between you watching someone and feeling nothing and watching something and being completely taken in by what they're doing because they've done all the work.
Right.
And they're in that moment with a story and with all the steps it took them to actually get to that moment and to say those words. They're not just memorizing. Memorizing is the smallest part for us actors. Mm-hmm. When you put emphasis on the memorizing the words, you're in trouble. The work is, the lines just come. And I love to read over and over and play with and read the script over and over again and watch videos and listen to music while I'm doing that. Listen to music while I'm reading these scripts, so it puts me in that time. And
Interesting.
it's super helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also you're coming from a real place, not just playing some idea of what someone back then might have wanted. You know.
That's interesting. Did you actually put on the music and get yourself in that movie? You're creating a reality.
I'm walking Hope Valley Main Street with Bluetooth headphones and listening
At
to
Westfield, Culver City? At the mall?
Yeah.
Hey, that's a great place.
You were just there.
Well, Hope Valley for cracking ice
Yes.
when I'm there.
Well, speaking of music,
Yes.
you yourself are a musician as well,
Yes.
which we found out, which is a nice, lovely surprise.
Yes.
And
We
you
talked.
also
It was
brought
good.
us a lovely surprise
I
today.
did. I brought my guitar.
You brought your guitar, so you.
Would you guys want to hear him? You guys
Do you
want
want to hear
little ditty?
Paul perform for us?
Yes.
This is a surprise to us too.
Yes.
Yeah, we're
Oh,
really
yes.
excited.
It's exciting.
Let me take
So,
out my.
We might as well, because we got to get at least one song.
Yes,
in
one song,
this
yeah.
Why
show.
not? Why not? Why not?
this is a nice treat for you guys.
Well, music is a big part of my life. That's why I use it also for getting in character or listening to music while, like I told you, I'm preparing for these things. And I also have my guitar with me always, always.
Oh,
Back when I lived in New York, it was on the subways, and I would play on the subway trains.
Wow.
Because I lived in Brooklyn, it would take me about 30 minutes to get in. I would stand there and I would sing songs, and I would mostly sing gospel songs. And people would try to give me money and be like, no, I wasn't busking. I was actually singing for to brighten people's day. And
Good acoustics down there too.
yeah, well, this was on the trains. Well, it's moving.
On the train.
Yeah, I
Oh,
wasn't in the.
wow.
I wasn't
Oh.
actually in the.
Wow.
No, well, I was moving.
So what is the name of this
Multitasking.
song?
This song is called "Place in My Heart."
Oh, so
Fitting.
you guys.
Yeah.
You guys.
Fitting.
And it is a song that I wrote a long, long time ago. And it's actually about God, this song. There was a period in my life, a solid 10 years, where I lived like a monk lifestyle.
Wow.
And every song I wrote, everything I read was committed and connected to my relationship with God, including my music. And this is, so they're all kind of like all these love songs to God that I wrote when I was like 20.
Wow.
This is one of them. I got a place in my heart for you. I've moved some things around, things that cluttered up my thoughts of you. are now lying on the ground, and you will always be here. You will always be here, no matter where I go or how far I feel. Your love is real. Round and around and around I go, the same old maze as before, lost in the places I found in you. Where's the open door? And you will always be here. You will always be here, no matter where I go or how far I feel. Your love is real.
Yes.
So, can you be here every
great.
week? Is everyone here? Can you be here every week?
Sure, why not?
Thank you for that.
They said thank you and thank you. That was great.
That was beautiful.
Oh my God, it's so good.
Can I get a little more in my headphones? Is
Oh, yeah,
does
sure.
that
Yes, she'll turn you.
You're raising the mics.
checking? Yeah. There we go. Oh, there we go.
Sound better?
This sounds great. Yeah.
Technology, you guys.
Technology.
That was so great. Thank you so much for
Thank
that.
you.
You're welcome.
For our show.
I'm like,
That's great.
well, what else is there to say? But we have a lot more to
Yeah, we'll
talk
like
about.
this later. Bye. That's it.
All right.
Drop the mic.
So, and if we're lucky, we might get another performance.
Yes.
All right, let's talk about Abigail now. Abigail dealt with a lot of strong men in this episode. Let's talk about
Yes.
her and Ray first of all.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts, James? Now that Ray, like, pretty much got Gowan
Well, here's
back
what's so
in
funny.
charge.
Here's what's funny to me. On this show, suddenly we have a lot of leading men.
Ugh.
Like
Leading alpha men.
Yeah, it's a lot. Does you feel like it's a lot all of a sudden here? So Abigail really has to like stand up to a lot of different people.
It's true.
She does,
Yeah.
and now you're gonna work for her too. Now it's kind of like I do. At least first time I see it coming, you be working at the cafe. I didn't see that coming at all.
That was a surprise to me as well.
I was like, oh, at the cafe.
But
like,
you can cook.
You can cook. So we were thinking, well, you might be at the infirmary maybe or something, but no, you're at the cafe. So Abigail has yet another man besides Bill, and she's dealing with Ray, who really is just like, he's not good. But Gowan, that's the one we threw. I mean, that's the.
Right.
Gowan. Okay, so
They had a
what
showdown there. It's called showdowns.
Gowan's charges were dropped.
Like, where did that
He
come
is
from?
now mayor again, and he's already giving Ray everything that he wants. They don't have to pay taxes anymore.
Well, don't you think that Ray just paid someone off for him? Of course.
Had to.
That's what I was thinking.
You think so?
Yeah, we think so. Had to.
I mean, that's how this was dropped.
Bill thinks so.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bill thinks so.
Bill thinks so. I think so.
The thing
What
about,
do you guys think?
Yeah, what do you guys think so?
I love how Bill was like, this is so payoff,
Yes,
I'm
it's-
going to do something
Your
about it.
mug. He did get a Hardee's mug, you guys.
You can use mine. Mine's empty.
We were talking. Yours is empty.
Yeah,
We'll bring it
go
on
for
over.
it.
But
yeah, you guys.
It's literally there for show, you guys.
really? Well, is it clean?
Yeah, it's great.
From
Oh,
my
okay.
desk this morning.
Great. Well, we'll transfer my other water.
See, look at Versus lucky in that.
Look at that. We talked
Okay.
about this, Hearties. We
Yes,
were
this was
like,
planned.
where do we get Paul a Hearties mug?
The Hardee's mug,
I
you guys.
didn't get a tote bag at the home
get-
family reunion.
No,
Did
we
you get a
gotta
tote bag, you
figure that
guys? We gotta
out
figure
for
that out
you.
for you. We get a tote bag.
Erin Krakow asked me to say hi to you guys.
We love
Aw,
Erin.
hi,
And
Erin.
she messaged me right before I walked in the door. She
love
goes,
her.
have fun today.
We love Erin.
We let that, Erin, you're always welcome.
You're always
back
when she's on the
as
show
well.
last year. She's welcome to come on anytime.
Yes.
How can
Anytime.
you not love her?
Yeah, how can you?
seriously.
So what is it like working with her?
Oh wow, she's amazing. You know, she's Juilliard trained actress. Do you know this?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, you guys know this.
We had her on the show. We had her on the show.
Oh, and you guys talked about that, which is great. Which is like, you know, but she's still, so she's classically trained, but she's also very in the moment and super present. It's my favorite thing when you're acting with somebody and you forget where you are. Like you're actually so in the moment, and that happened with her a couple times through this season where you get, and that's what I love the most about acting, when you have those moments that you're so in the moment that you forget that you're saying words on a stage and there's 25 people watching and you just have a real connection with them, and then you snap out of it when they yell cut and you're like, wow. What did I even say? So many times, and I'm just a miracle that I said the right words because I wasn't even thinking about it. I was just listening.
We kind of mention it all the time when they give her a really good meaty scene. Like, she's so good.
She's so captivating.
Yeah.
It's like you can't help but forget the world and just focus on whatever she's doing or saying.
She was exceptional in this episode too. She's just she's terrific.
I'm sorry, I said this yesterday in the tweet. I'm like, she's so pretty. Like, whenever she comes on screen, it's like, you're so pretty.
And her outfits look so cool.
They do.
They go so narrow at the waist. I'm like, I don't even think they make them like that anymore. It looks like from that time.
I know.
The way her dresses are, our costume department is incredible.
But Ray is not good. Obviously, he could be good. I think if something good happens in his life. But right now, he's just kind of following what the railroad is telling him. And so, which is what life happens. Yeah. And him and Gowan are now thick as thieves. Now it's clear they're thick as thieves now at this point.
Oh, for sure. I don't like how, because I predicted that Gowan was going to listen to Ray.
Yeah, you did. You said it.
Yeah. Or Ray was going to listen to Gowan. Back and forth.
How about that crazy teaser about next episode at the end? Do you guys talk about those?
Not yet.
But we will.
We'll get to that. We'll try not to jump that.
We'll get to
I'd
that.
forgotten about that.
Yeah, I was just saying it's coming, but Abigail's showdown.
Abigail had her fallouts with some of the men, but she had her, she got back with Frank.
Yes. Pastor Frank.
I was excited about this. Good on Cody to getting them back together.
Cody and Rosemary were so much fun together.
They are.
It's true.
They were so much fun. It was like so funny to see them together. But just quickly, I want to go back to you. Abigail, I was getting mad at her at first. I was like, why is she more upset? Even Liz was like, why are you so calm? She's like, stop making those cookies or muffins and get out there and see something.
Yeah.
And then she did.
Oh, she did. She got heated.
She did.
Heated that he was on.
She did. Oh, she stared him down.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
why I loved it.
And I was kind of like a threat. Like, it's like, no, you watch yourself. Yeah. You go,
Who runs the world?
Oh.
Girls.
What? Girls. Who runs the world, girls?
Girls, that's right.
Absolutely. Especially it was International Women's Day just recently.
Yeah, it was recently. But she stood her ground.
Yes, she did.
She did.
She's an incredible actress to work with.
Lori.
Yeah, Lori.
Oh, you just looking at her once again, you get lost. Those are it's this crew and this cast rather, and the crew. They're an incredible crew, but this cast is just amazing. Like Jack is so fun. He is such a nut. Like in person, like a nut. Like you just laugh and laugh, and he plays pranks all the time. So and
he
takes you. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, like he's constantly like my first like 2 months there. He's going. One of the drivers was talking to one of our drivers, and he's like. And the driver was talking about me, and he kept going, which one's Paul again? And he kept doing it, like pretending to me and to everyone that he forgot who I was. And then we got stuck. Jack and I got stuck in the hugest snowstorm between, because we filmed way outside of Vancouver, like almost an hour.
Yeah.
And there was so much snow. And I have my guitar in the back, and he plays.
Right.
And up till that point, we hadn't had much time together, so we were stuck for like 3 hours on the freeway, and we were just passing the guitar back and forth and singing, and that really connected us together. He's hilarious. He's absolutely hilarious, and a super great actor. As well.
And you talk about people who like him, Lori, been around for a long time in the business.
Yeah, it's not their first job, is it?
No,
Oh, yeah.
no, not at all.
Definitely.
But I mean, it makes it nicer too because they get it, right? They get it. They've been around for a long time,
and they give it.
I like that. I like that.
Yeah, they give it. Lori gives so much. She's super generous, and she listens. Like, I think that's one of the biggest things acting is listening. And when you're working with somebody who's really talented and skilled, they're just amazing listeners. That allows what you're saying to just land. So you feel great because you're actually speaking to somebody and they're hearing it.
Yeah.
And you feel connected and authentic because your words are landing. When people are thinking and preloading their gun about what they're about to say back to you with their words, it's the worst.
Interesting.
And so acting, there's a free falling, like there's a big trust involved, because when someone's speaking to you, you just listen. But your temptation is to load your words because you don't want to mess up, because you have 40 people depending on you to make lunch. So you have to trust and do all your work beforehand that you can just be there in the moment and listen and trust that what you're meant to say will be there and not think about it. It's like jumping through fire sometimes.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's quite the skill set to have, and and to keep honing that skill in acting, and let alone be in the moment, but also be professional as well, because you are still working.
Totally.
That's a great. You have to strike that balance.
It really, and it just comes with working. It just like 10,000 hours. Like you get better and better at what you do here.
Right.
The more you do it, and the same with anything. The more I pick up my guitar, the more fun and natural, and the better I become at it. And same with acting. It's just, if you're one of the fortunate actors that gets to work, you just keep getting better and better because you're working. Yeah.
Yeah. I enjoy that. I enjoy that so much, especially your story with Dan. That's fun. I don't think a lot of people know that.
No.
So thank you for sharing that. Let's quickly talk about Rosemary and her unexpected matchmaking with Cody for Murphy and Katie Hose.
I was like, it's so fun. It's like we get a little storyline. They got a new couple, I guess, emerging.
I like how it was originally supposed to be for Abigail and Frank, but it ended up being for this new couple, even amongst everything.
Little hijinks.
Yeah.
I like that.
Unexpected, serendipitous, really.
Yes, it was.
I really
good
enjoyed
word.
that.
Good word. I like that word. But I like that. I liked seeing Carter and Pascal work together. It was kind of fun. Get to work with a kid.
Well, we've had a few cute moments in last season, season 3, with those two together, and I think that really worked well. That they keep adding more into this.
I loved when he at the very end when Carter looks over and sees Frank and Abigail kissing. I don't know if anybody noticed. I'm sure some Hearties did, but his back leg started like kind of twitching, just like kind of like an excited kid would be. I don't know if he meant to do that, but it just happened, and that moment where he looked over and he was so excited was so cute. We caught his back legs like flapping like a dog.
I noticed it too.
He was very cute.
So
but I like them together. I liked what happened. It was a fun little, to mix the drama, you gotta have some kind of comedy and comedic stuff happen. And so Rosemary's always good for that anyway.
It's very much true to character, and I love how every time she dabbles into other people's personal problems, she usually does it out of heart, because that's her character. Like, she does it to help people, not to just nosy. She actually wants to truly do something.
Well, she thinks she can help.
Yeah.
She's like, I can help. That's what she thinks. I can help. I'm a advice column. I can help.
And she's the one that ended up asking Katie for Murphy's voice.
It was so cute. That was cute.
She like went right behind him and
theatrically
said the words.
Yes, and he was on his knee. I like that. It was very cute.
That was a great moment. She's incredible.
Another beautiful one too.
Yeah.
Yeah, not too hard to look at.
Exactly. It was like,
or listen to, like her eyes, just the way she speaks. And we were at the Air Canada Lounge after, like, coming back to Vancouver after we have these big events here for Hallmark and for the press, the EPK things. Not EPK. What are they called? TCAs. TCAs. And we were on the way back, and my son was flying back with me. This was going back to shoot the movie I just finished with Danica McKellar.
Oh, yes.
Campfire Kiss.
Yes.
And Barbara Niven.
And Barbara.
I love Barbara.
And
Barbara and I are friends.
And Allie. Are you friends with
Yeah, she's been here twice, sitting where you sat right now.
She's great.
No, she's amazing. I love her.
I got to work with her before in the film I did with Candace Cameron called Christmas. Oh, look at you.
She knows all of them.
I should have just let you answer.
No, it's better when you do it.
I love Hallmark.
And
you have no idea.
Do you really?
I do.
So do I.
Yeah, Hallmark's the bomb.
That's great. And Allie Scobie, who plays my daughter in Campfire Kiss, is also, on One Calls a Heart.
Yes.
Allie.
Yes.
Yeah.
And she, and also, it was, so anyway, we were flying back and I got to hang out with her on the plane and my son. And she, just chatting with her, she's just so filled with life.
Yes. I got to interview her at the Hearties thing too, and I kept staring at her. I'm like, you're just so pretty and so nice
pretty,
and so nice.
Yeah, and the pretty comes from inside.
Yeah, no, that's right. That's what I mean by that. I'm saying, it's like, you can look at this. We're in LA. We see all these people all the time who have nothing, but she has something behind her eyes. You said her eyes. That's what it is.
She's alive.
She's alive. I like that.
Yeah, she's fun. Oh, yeah. Well, what was another fun story in this episode? Doug, the Mounties come.
Yes, the Mounties.
The Mounties come to Hope Valley. We have Constable Doug, who's actually a friend of Jack's.
Yes.
That was quite the introduction.
Yeah, that was another one.
You should not punch Jack. You should have known better.
I like that. It was another big shock. I was like, oh my God, where'd that come from?
Do you guys know? Do you know about him?
No.
So this is Anthony, and he played in my first film I did with Danica called Perfect Match. And he played my cousin in it, and I help him plan their wedding with Danica. We both are wedding planners. And he, while we were doing that, got X-Men and 50 Shades of Grey.
Oh my God.
50 Shades Darker, 50 Shades... No, the first one, 50 Shades Grey. And he's an incredible guy. We bonded and we became fast friends. And he comes to L.A. for pilot season and stuff, but he's a Canadian. And yeah, it's funny, the world at Hallmark...
It's, yes.
Small.
Yeah.
Small world.
It is.
It is very small.
For tall people.
He is tall. Did you not notice?
He's
I was like,
giant.
he's like towering over Jack.
Yes.
Jack is pretty tall.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I saw that too. He was towering over Jack, wasn't he? I want to say, okay, I'm always looking for male Hearties to tell the men why I should watch the show, because scenes like that are very male. I mean, are male. Like the Tate Bros, all this, very male oriented on those scenes.
So you want me to tell men
Hearties
why they should watch
the show?
Well, it's a little presumptuous for me to tell anyone why they should watch my show.
Yes.
But if I was held over a bumblebee microphone,
you are held over a bumblebee microphone.
There's the Wild West element to this show. There's incredibly beautiful women to watch on this show.
Yes, there you go.
And there is the element of the Wild West and Frontierland that if you grew up watching like Little House on the Prairie, or Bonanza, any of those westerns, it does it really well. It's a period piece, and it's the men get to do pretty great things, hunt down bandits, and there's people who try. There's riders on the horizon being shot from up in the hills. So there's that sense of adventure and danger and beautiful women.
That's right.
To watch.
Yes.
And
do really
men.
Interesting things. And beautiful men. There's a lot of men on right now.
There's a lot right now.
Great.
It's
great. We saw the men's showdown in this episode as well.
Yes, we
the women
did.
had the verbal showdown, and then the men had the actual physical takedowns.
That's right.
With we finally got the Tate brothers.
We did.
With the bank.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I'm glad it's over with.
Yeah, me too.
Like, it's not like it was a story that was
you
like
think
looming.
it's over.
Oh, there we go.
Geez.
Bum, bum, bum.
Okay.
I'd like to think that this situation is resolved. They got
I would love for you to think that.
Okay.
So now the other thing, of course, do you think Jack is having? Well, we're gonna talk about the preview later, but is he having second thoughts, kind of?
Totally. Or he's regretting it.
Because he made a decision.
His face, like every time you see him and talking to Doug and like after conversations, and he just sees the Mounties, roll out of town. You can tell his face. He's just like sad.
I love that
He's
moment
regretting his
when the Mountie, when they cut the camera higher, and you see the Mounties about to leave, and everybody's waving, and you see Jack's down. It's like that was a great scene.
Great shot. I do have a prediction about that. But
Yeah, no, you do, girl.
What's your prediction?
We'll save it.
Are you going to save it for when?
Later.
Save predictions.
Oh,
At the end,
there's a
we do our
prediction
predictions
time.
segment.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ooh, is there like a special sign?
Actually,
for
there
that?
Yeah,
is.
the lights flicker
Yes,
and all
actually
that.
there is.
Prediction time.
Exactly.
It's close. That's somebody you're
You can
close.
do it, yeah.
You're close.
Ooh.
You're close.
Cool.
We'll save that for later.
Later.
Okay.
Because I don't want to ruin it.
Yeah, we don't. Okay.
Don't want to, because it's 100% accurate, even though it's just your prediction.
Yeah.
She's been
I
right.
like to think
She's been
it's
right this
100%.
season.
It's
It's crazy.
basically a spoiler, your prediction.
I don't want to call it a spoiler, but maybe I'm just intuitive.
Maybe.
Very intuitive. Like that.
All right, but yeah, we saw Doug. I like Doug.
I like him.
And he was really nice to Elizabeth, dancing.
Most of the folks didn't like that though,
Oh,
because they were dancing. They were just dancing as friends.
But Jack was right there.
Yeah, he was fine.
approved. It's
That's
fine.
fine. I thought it was fine.
Like he's one of the first men that
They were mad.
came into town that I'm not threatened that can ruin their relationship.
Yeah, that's a
Your thoughts?
recurring theme, isn't it? That
Yeah.
they're threatening that relationship. There's a lot of that.
Yes.
There's a lot of concern over that.
Oh, there's a lot of
No
concern.
matter who, like, if she chats up someone too long, there's trouble.
Well, because her and Niall, of course, did a movie together. Which
Yeah,
was,
and they think that
Yeah, 'cause-
Shane could mess up.
Yes, the Shane could mess up. I mean, there's so many men. There's so many men there. It's like so
Ooh,
crazy.
yeah, right.
Because he's
There
really close.
is.
Because little Philip hugs her now.
Yeah,
You-
let's
I
talk
cried.
about them.
I cried on that. I cried when he
Shane
hugged his
felt,
son.
I loved how Elizabeth went up to Shane and be like, you need to show the proper affection and time towards your son. He needs a father figure right now.
Yeah.
And I think that's really realistic, and I feel so many families go through this right now. They just need the proper parenting.
I agree with you. It's not something they teach you. It's something you kind of got to figure out. If you weren't lucky enough to have parents that gave you a really excellent example, was, you just sort of do what you saw. Unless you do the work and you relearn how to take care of this. I have a son. I have a 13-year-old boy that I'm incredibly in love with being a father and learning from what my parents did right, and also correcting some of the things that they learned from their parents. Their parents, they're born in the war and in Holland, occupied, so they got their affection meter is a lot different. They were trying to survive, not trying to take care of someone's little feelings. They were trying to survive, make sure they had enough potatoes stored up. Like, I'm not exaggerating. So it's a totally different thing that you learn. But that moment when the little boy, I forget his name. Do you guys know? Philip? Oh, yeah. Okay. Looks up at Niall's character, and he doesn't know if he's in trouble or not. He's like, that little boy is great.
Oh, he's I was crying.
All these kids.
Yeah.
The thoughts that he had when his dad just like looked up, he's like, you could tell he wasn't just like expecting to be hugged. He was like, there was a flash thought, what did I do wrong? It was incredible.
I agree.
It was a great moment.
And I think it was funny because I'm a father also. They're liking your stories. Paul's so good with his son. Terrific duo. But I like the fact, for me, there's things men have to learn sometimes. We're not intuitive. We don't have with us that some mothers get sometimes.
That's true.
And I think, and so we have to we can learn it. It's not we can't learn it. We can learn it. And I think we don't have it in us, period. It has to be brought out.
It's the first generation it's actually expected of us.
Right, I agree.
It really it wasn't. It was just men were there to like take care of things and put food on the table and protect from invading intruders.
No, right, exactly.
And now men are expected to do everything, to know how to cook, to know how to talk about feelings.
Yes, right. No, I know.
And act upon them, actually.
But then they're also, it's a tricky time for men because I really believe in the difference and polarity of masculine and feminine energy. And women are demanded to be much more masculine, and men are being demanded to be much more feminine. Yes. What happens is you get neutral relationships, the polarity, the magnetism. And that's why, from my perspective and books that I've read about this topic, why relationships are struggling and people get married for like a year and then they're over, is there's so much pressure on not every man has a natural masculine core either. Some men have a ton of feminine energy, and feminine is the ocean, is music, is dance, is powerful. Masculine is like stillness, like nothingness, like meditation and watching television is masculine energy.
Yeah.
But it's such an interesting time, and so for this character, for Niall's character to back then have to reach in 1912 to know to do that, it takes someone like Elizabeth to tell them. We don't even know. They didn't know.
They didn't know.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
And just the fact that the son grew up believing that he's the cause for his mother's death, that's such a sad belief.
Thing to hold on to.
It's like, for someone so young, you should not be thinking that at all.
Right.
But it's also sad that Shane didn't realize that was wrong.
Well, somewhere maybe Shane's character did blame him a little bit. We don't know all the circumstances around there. So there might be some information that we don't know.
And it's a tough situation.
It
It's a tough situation. I mean, somebody dies in childbirth or whatever. I mean, I'm sure as a husband you have so many different feelings, but then he's also the father of this child. So it must be just really tough. I don't know. Yeah. For me, I have daughters. They forced me to be sensitive.
Oh, yeah, that's a whole different thing.
I have grandsons now, but I didn't have boys. I had girls, and they made me kind of, over the years, be sensitive. They kind of forced it out of me. They demanded it out of me.
Yeah, it's a lot easier for me as a man to have like strong boundaries with my son because he's my son. But if he was my daughter, it would just melt my heart, and I'd be like, I know I said you can't do that.
That happens.
But when you look at me like that, I think maybe you can do that. Just don't tell your mom.
Exactly.
But with my son, I'm like, no.
Right.
You know what I said, and that's not going to change.
And that's it. Right.
Because he's a boy.
He's a boy.
But I think, and he still melts my heart. But I do, when I say something, I don't go back on it.
Good.
I do not go back on my against my word. It isn't easy.
It isn't easy.
But I take the time to make sure that I don't set some weird boundary that I'm going to regret later. I take a little extra time. And there's the other time I have to apologize and be like, look, I know I said you can't do that. I was being a little dramatic.
After being dramatic?
That's what I blame it on. So I'm like, we're going to back that boundary up a little bit. And then my high school volleyball coach, who was also the vice principal, my only ally in my youth, I was in trouble all the time.
Okay.
I called him up, and I was having trouble with my son in school when he was in grade 1 or 2. And he said, you know what I did, Paul? He was in Kenya, and he ran an international school.
Oh, wow.
And they asked him to come into the school and take over for a year, but don't change any rules. And he got there, and he goes, okay, I won't. But he's the most incredible principal ever. And he got there, and all the bad kids were being shamed and blamed, and they were bullying, and they were being suspended and expelled. And he brought in the system that he taught me to regulate my own son to help him come up with solutions to his problems. Was he taught the kids in the high school to come up with their own consequences for their actions. So when they disobeyed or went against the school's policies, they had to come up with their consequence. And I applied that to my son, and my son's consequences are miles worse than mine. He's like, I'm going to go to bed without dinner, and my skateboarding will be gone for a month. I'm like,
Oh my goodness.
no.
Not that serious.
Let's come up with the consequence that fits your action.
Right.
And it took me away from being this dominating fear thing that he's afraid of to like, we're in this together. Let's find a way for you to not do that thing, because that wasn't working.
Yeah.
You come up with the consequence that helps you not do that again. And that's helped like great. But you know, their parents never, that's not something they would do. They brought out the belt. They brought out the belt.
Same here.
Give me a whooping.
Oh,
Same
my
here.
goodness.
Talk to your death first too, and then beat you. I'm like, just beat me already. Stop talking to your death.
Don't.
It's like, can you stop talking? Just beat me, please.
And you know, in Hope
Yes.
Valley there was belts.
I'm sure it was. Oh, I'm sure it was.
Seriously, I'm
Back then,
surprised
sure.
there hasn't been a spanking episode.
I'm kind of glad there isn't.
Wasn't the time period.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
But
funny.
I
You have two
love that.
daughters.
Like, that's a great
Yeah, I do,
principle
yeah.
to have, because that allows also your son to, set boundaries and realize like how he can grow as
Yeah,
a person.
and I think-
give him a little freedom.
It really is great. And I think the age of 8 is when kids start to reason. So I think much sooner than that, you still have to guide them.
Yes.
But you teach them self-discipline and self-respect, and it's just beautiful. Anyway, that Larry Ethie is one of my heroes. He's my coach and my
Good
top-
shout out to him.
Yeah,
Good.
he's incredible. Really, to this day, still a good friend.
like
that,
that.
was incredible.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Elizabeth was incredible in this episode too.
She's great. I want to be
Also,
my teacher.
telling off Ray
Oh, I know.
in like a really strong way. She did come across pretty strong,
Yes.
but she did get a result in the end, saying that the railroad aren't pulling their weight. They're like there's overcrowding in the school. There's not enough resources for everyone, and it actually got Ray to be like, we're gonna double your budget. Like, this sounds too good to be true.
It's too good to be
Right.
true.
I was like, does the new teacher come with that?
There you go. Prediction. Spoiler alert.
Well, that ending when
Well, we saw the ending.
he
Right.
showed up.
We saw, like, I'm your replacement.
I was like, what?
Excuse me, Mr. Stoneman. That is not your chalkboard. His
Right.
Oh.
name is Mr. Stoneman.
But again, her acting, her face was like, excuse me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
And-
a tragedy for her to have that
Yes.
happen, huh?
Oh my God.
Well, the thing is, like, she just wanted good for her children, like her students.
That's all she wanted.
It's like there's nothing wrong with asking more, just so the students can have a better
Yeah.
future, a better career.
There's
better...
double the students. Double the they need it.
Well, it just reminds me of just today. We have crowding in schools. We need supplies. It's very the parallels are just kind of crazy. And this show does it really well. I feel like this show I can relate to a lot of things. The expansion of the railroad, where we live over in Culver City with it, doing the expansion of the metro.
Sure, yeah.
It's a lot of stuff that to me is very relatable to today. So you don't watch the show, you should be watching it. It's really good. But I like that she was like, okay, I'll give you the money. Because she really just wants to make sure everybody has a book. Everybody has a piece of paper.
Yeah.
Everybody has a pen. I mean, it's
Yeah.
like that simple. That's all she wants.
I think
Yeah.
it was also the way Ray responded was very condescending.
Yes.
It's like, we are business, you are a teacher. Like,
Right.
oh no, he didn't.
I know. I was like,
Yeah, but once again, that's how the men thought of
Back
talked
then.
about
Yeah.
women back then.
Yeah, that's true.
It's a good thing you're in today's time, my
I know.
dear.
We're
Yeah,
on
thank
the
God,
right
right.
side of history, thankfully.
thank God, right? Oof.
Or hopefully we're moving
What a
past
great time to be born. When you think about it.
that. Yeah.
Yes.
You could go, you broke your arm, you ain't gonna die. If you cut your
No.
foot with a nail, you're gonna probably make it.
Yes.
Back then, there's a 50-50 chance. You
Yeah, no,
gotta-
yeah, back
Yeah.
then, yeah. Ugh.
Right.
Right.
That's why the men are gloomy. And they're either working in a mine or they're working in a sawmill or, working on a
You know,
road.
Dangerous jobs.
Paul, I got
dangerous
soft
labor
hands. I got soft hands. I couldn't work in no.
What would
no
you
mine.
do in Hope Valley?
Well, I used to be a nurse. So I guess it'd be an infirmary.
You would help out Faith, huh?
He'd
Yeah.
organize the
I
infirmary.
organize and organize.
You organize it.
He's an organizer.
I'm an organizer now.
Are you
too,
really?
yeah.
Okay.
So I could do that, but I
And you
couldn't
could be a life coach.
be a life
You
coach.
could be the therapist.
The therapist.
Hope Valley needs a
Valley
therapist.
They
needs
do.
a
They do. Well,
therapist.
Gowan needs to be talked to. Let's talk with Gowan. He's
Yes,
a
we got a
therapist.
barber. Now we need a therapist.
I love it.
Anything else about this episode before we talk to you, Shane?
I guess it's a great episode. Another great episode. It's really ramping forward. I mean, they're starting to. We got Abigail
storylines.
versus like Ray and Gowan. We have now Elizabeth versus this new teacher. You're at the cafe now. What does that mean?
What does that mean?
Like, what does that mean?
And Claire wants to leave, so
And
you
Claire's
might
good.
actually take over that cafe.
It's good.
Claire's
With the
going
dress
to
shop.
the
You guys
dress
mentioned that. You
shop.
mentioned that. The dress
I
shop.
did.
So
I
I
was
mean,
like, she likes to sew.
yeah,
It
you
makes
said
sense.
that. You totally said it. So I thought it was pretty good. So I think I'm really enjoying this season. This is becoming one of my favorite seasons.
Solid.
Really?
Solid.
It really is.
great.
I'm really
That's
enjoying. I mean, it's a
good.
lot of story.
Lots of story.
Lots of
It's really
story.
got the Downton Abbey feel. Hey, there's such
Yes.
an ensemble.
Very ensemble.
And that's when I took on this project too. I was speaking with Robin, one of the head writers, about it, and she goes, "It's very much an ensemble cast, and everybody has their stories, and then they intersect and intertwine, and then they really affect each other." And I'd never been on a show that has that much, that many different stories interconnecting and causing drama in the other one. I've never been on a show like this.
Wow.
Yeah. All right, so let's get to you because you have a lot going on, and you've done a lot of shows and movies for Hallmark and stuff. So, and you've worked with the leading ladies of Hallmark. You worked with Candace and Danica McKellar, Barbara Niven, Lacey Chabert,
Erica Christensen,
love
who
her.
is so great. Parenthood
Is
We like Parenthood. We like
How
Parenthood.
great is
I did
that
the
show?
Parenthood
Yes.
after show here at
Yes.
AfterBuzz TV.
You know, it's got that This Is Us feel, but it's got
That's another great show.
They did.
Yeah.
How great is This Is Us?
So good.
Oh my
Last
God.
episode just like bawled my eyes out.
Don't tell me. I'm only on like the 6th one.
I won't.
But Parenthood, Erica told me this because we did that Anything for Love, where I should have brought it. You know, I'm going to give it on my Twitter. I have my Nurse Jack thing from the film I did with Erica, Anything for Love, and it's like I played a male nurse, and I have this. I found it in my drawer. I have this nurse tag that says nurse. What was my name on that? What was it? I just said it. Jack. My name is Jack. Yeah.
There we go.
Anyway, Jack Cooper.
Jack
That's
Cooper.
what it was. It was
Okay.
years ago.
Great
Anyway,
song.
I have had such a blast with these incredible leading ladies who, in their own right, have just such humongous careers when you think about it. Like,
Yeah.
you know, Danica McKellar, everyone loved her as Winnie
Oh, of
Cooper.
Winnie.
course. And she's so smart. She's really smart. When you saw
She's a
her. I heard she's a
mathematician.
mathematician. I know.
She's been here too.
She's
No,
she
we
is
love Hallmark.
so
you
smart.
guys.
She is she's such a wonderful person too.
Yeah.
Really.
She's super sweet.
She taught my son how to dance, like his first like
Oh.
slow dance. Because in Campfire Kiss, there's like this high school or middle school dance. And my son's in the movie.
Oh.
My son's in.
Oh,
Campfire,
okay.
yeah. And Oliver has never done yet that awkward middle school dance where you take, but he got to do it over and over again with a couple different extras in the film. And then I shot this video. It's like, I couldn't stop. It was like a 2-minute video of Danica teaching Oliver like how to lead. It's unbelievable.
Now, here's what's
'Cause
so funny.
Dancing with the Stars, right? Both her and Candace.
But it's
Yes,
funny.
it's
He doesn't even get like my generation, her generation, like how important that is. He's dancing with Danica McKellar. Like my male friends would just die. Like I mean, he doesn't even
He
understand.
doesn't. No, you're right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like we get it.
Yeah.
But like he don't even fully get that. That's like amazing.
No, but we have watched The Wonder Years, and,
Okay.
and so he kind of gets the correlate, like, because he
Okay.
can look at 13-year-old Winnie and be like dream,
how
dream,
funny.
right?
Oh, yeah,
and then
okay,
now
okay.
see her at her age now and be like, like that's her. He can,
okay.
so they can put it together.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
One of yours, great show.
It was a great show. I love the
miss
show.
it.
Wonder Years. But yeah, Erica and Lacey was so incredible to work with. Yeah. And I'm just so blessed that Hallmark keeps giving me these really cool roles. Like, they're not, every time I read them, I'm like, yeah, I get, I get to do this. And they're really, they have a great balance of giving the men enough to do and the women enough to do that they're very much story about a girl.
Right.
But
right.
the guys, we're not just supporting. We have like number of pages, it's equal. Like number of days working, it's usually equal. Sometimes the girl will have a few days to set up the beginning of the film where they're, but I have gotten so many cool things to do as a male lead with these girls, and they've been on set since they were little kids. A lot of them.
They have.
Candace Cameron, from Full House,
Yeah.
and
Lacey.
Lacey too.
Lacey,
Party of Five.
Party of Five is
and
amazing.
Party of Five. I just did another film with a girl who was on Party of Five named Heather McComb. Do you know her?
But name sounds familiar.
Yeah,
She was also Ray Donovan.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Was
So
she
that
also
makes
in
sense.
Full House? No, I'm thinking
No,
someone else.
Heather McComb. We just did a film called Sweet Home Carolina, and I just saw we just went to the premiere of it.
Okay.
It's a sweet, like romantic comedy, a little darker than like Hallmark movies.
Oh,
Meaning,
okay.
just her issues are a little deeper, and she's allowed to explore them a little bit.
Oh, wow.
So movies and mysteries channel.
Possibly.
Probably.
No dead bodies, but so to work with these girls has just been absolutely incredible. And then to get to work with Danica twice.
Yeah.
And we had to convince the network. It's
really?
It's not a usual thing.
What, you just once and that's it, pairing once? Is that true?
Yeah, it's not. That hadn't happened on the.
Yeah, I'm trying to think because I watch a lot
They
of
watch
those
a lot of them.
movies.
So are they usually just one pair? I guess one
Or
pairing at a
unless
time.
it's like not a franchise, you generally
Well,
work with new
right,
people.
because movies and mysteries they do have because they're
tons
like
of
chapters
franchises.
of books, right?
Yeah.
But not on these. We had to convince them. We're like Ryan Gosling, Emma Stone, and we had to go back and like Marilyn Monroe worked with what's his name twice. And we had to go to Cary Grant, and we had to like
Fred and Ginger.
right. We had to do a list of these are the couples that, and we had to convince them.
Wow.
And I'm glad we did. I really.
Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan.
Yeah,
That's-
I was
that
going to
was
say
one
that
of them.
too.
They did 3 movies together.
3 movies.
Yeah.
Matthew McConaughey and
What's her name?
Kate Hudson.
Kate Hudson, yes.
they
I was
did a couple.
thinking Drew Barrymore
No,
and
they did.
Adam
Adam
Sandler.
Sandler is another
So there
one.
you go. So this is where
That's
we
right.
The
ended
list
up.
goes on and on.
Eventually they said yes. And we got to work together twice.
Well, they're excited for
That's
it. People are
fun.
saying they're excited for the movie that's coming out. It's next Saturday, right?
This upcoming Saturday. You know what's funny? It's a true story, side tangent. I went to go watch it on Saturday and it wasn't there, and I realized it airs this week.
Saturday.
I was so excited to watch it because I was going to talk about it with you on the show. And I was like, nope.
Yeah,
I was off by a week.
What's so, and obviously you've all noticed this, but during When Calls a Heart, they advertised Lori's movies that are coming, and Erin's movies that are coming, and my movie that's coming out.
Yeah, they do.
My son, we were watching it last night. He goes, "Dad, you're on the TV and on the TV. You're on it twice." Yeah.
That's cute.
He's been to Hope Valley a couple times, and he hung out with me on set there. And so, and I'm sure there's a great deal of Hardies that have actually got to visit the set.
Yeah.
How cool is that
We
experience?
went to HFR too.
Yeah.
That's where we first met you.
That's right.
there.
Did you guys
That's
go
fun.
out to the town as
I
well?
went.
she had to go.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
went. It was fun.
It was so neat out there. Do
cool.
not eat the eggs in the
Ooh.
in Yost. Do not eat those eggs. You will not be around. They've been there since the beginning. Look at Paul's getting cozy, putting his arm on James's
Well, that's
shoulder.
so funny. We're buddies. That's why.
It's just
Anyone
go
getting
back
jealous
now.
that James is getting to snuggle with Paul?
yeah, why not? Why
It's a
not?
bromance. It's a bromance.
Why not?
Yeah.
You have a very
Sturdy shoulder, don't I?
sturdy shoulder.
Nice shoulder.
Totally.
If I needed to
Look at
cry,
this. What
this
have
would
we
be. This is where I would go first, right here. No, you know what it is? We're both
We
broad-shouldered
are.
men, so
I
it's
know.
either we sit like this or we make some space. Why not?
It's aesthetically pleasing on camera.
Right, totally bromance.
Yeah, it's a bromance.
That's how it really works.
That's how it
out.
works. I love
Yeah.
it.
So, Paul, you mentioned that your son sometimes travels
Yes.
with you to set, and like working on these Hallmark shows and movies. Is it difficult, like traveling back and forth with family, or?
It can be. I mean, Vancouver is fortunately quite nearby. It's 2.5 hours. When I was on a series before this called Bitten,
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
Toronto.
Bitten.
and it was Toronto, and that was a flight. But my son, it was the summer, and he took a month off of school, and he was in Toronto with me for that month, which was so much fun. He loves being on set. He goes like the sound person, hangs out and like learns about. So he's just very like learning and so it can be challenging. It can be. I'm in a really beautiful relationship with Katie, and to just leave. I don't just leave her. I leave my son, but I also then my son's mom, who I have a very close relationship with, has to double up on the responsibility of making the lunches and so it's like Paul's off living his dream, and it creates more work for the people here. So it is a team, like
It takes
a village, and it takes a lot of generosity on everyone's part. And I'm really grateful that the home team here really steps up, and then also gets him to the airport to come visit me on the weekends, and then picks him up. There's a lot. It takes so much generosity and love and kindness of to keep it going, because when you're away it's a real challenge. And fortunately my relationship to my son's mom, who I'm divorced from, is very, very good. And it has been
good.
We've kept love is not a relationship. Love is just a commitment to love. It's not, if just because you're out of the relationship doesn't mean that you have to stop loving. Love is not a relationship. It's a Henry Miller quote.
I like that.
And when we, some people will probably disagree with it, and it's a controversial statement, but when we had our vows, they were to love each other till death do us part. It didn't say we're going to live under the same roof.
There you go.
It was to love each other. So in some ways, and in a way in our hearts, we haven't broken our vows because we still love each other. We're not fighting. We're not living in the same house, but we really are loving each other till death do us part. And so it's a really beautiful thing.
I like that.
And we're actually going to put a book together to help couples who are divorced to do it in a loving way that doesn't create an earthquake and a hurricane and destroy all the lives around them. You can still maintain the love even if you choose to not be in that relationship. And we're going to put and one of the chapters is "Till Death Do Us Part."
I like that.
That's a great perspective on that.
Yeah.
Because people can like view it negatively in a terrible way like that. But that's such a great thing. And the fact that you're putting a book out there about it like even speaks more to that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's hard because, we're adults, but we're also parents. Yeah. So there's a whole thing when you're adults, all those feelings being an adult. Sure. Then you got the feelings of being a parent and be there for the child and make sure that he's protected, or she, or in my case, or she's. It's like it's a hard thing. It's really tough.
Yeah, and it's no handbook for it. No. You just figure it out as you kind of go. Right. And fortunately, we have these mentors that have gone before us, like my Larry Ethier, or my parents were incredible parents. Yeah. And then I have teachers that I like, books that I love reading about, and I'm fascinated with relationships and parenting. Like they're 2 topics, and fitness, 3 topics that I really love to learn about and share what I've learned too.
Excellent. So we have some questions from the fans of Wynn Calls the Heart on Facebook. Thank you everyone for submitting your questions. Nancy Kelklin asks, not counting your own, who is your favorite Wynn Calls the Heart character and why?
Who is my Wynn Calls the favorite Wynn Calls the Heart?
Who's your favorite character and why?
And why? That's really, it's tricky because you haven't seen them yet, but I got some really amazing scenes with Carter, with Cody.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And him and I think it's because I miss my son, but on set he and I just play, and I've scared the crap out of him because there's in Abigail's Cafe when they shut the lights off, there's no like house lights, like the light, it's empty, it's dark, and I went in the back and he was in the front and it was in between, and I was hiding back there and I was like going and he was so curious, and he comes and he's looking in the back there, and I kept doing it just really quiet, and he got so curious that he wanted to come see what it was, that he got his mom and they started to come, and at a certain point I snuck on my belly like really close to where they were, and I just jump up and just went like wow, like a huge and they turned and ran, and anyway he's got probably my favorite actor because of I can play with him, and it makes me not miss my son as much. And then it has to be Erin after that, just because she's got such a witty, dry, hilarious sense of humor, and she's such a great actress as well. Do I really have to pick? I can just keep going.
That's it. You're done. You have to pick. You're not picking. You don't want to pick.
I don't want to pick.
No.
Does that answer your question?
Does that answer it?
It answers. It's fine.
Nice question, Nancy.
Yes.
Ooh, is that a spoiler? Is it a spoiler? Which one?
Oh no, it was spoiler.
That good coat.
Our good Heartie friend,
Scaring Carter.
Michelle D. Rose Mick asks, what do you think of the Hearties? And now having gone to HFR 2, will you go to HFR 3? Oh
yeah, of course. If I'm invited, I'll be there. I love the Hearties. And there's call back to your word serendipitous. There's so much. When I met Janette Oke at Home and Family 2, Home and Family,
HFR 2. Home and Family, something different. You were just there.
A lot of you Hearties that were there remembered I brought up the story of my grandmother. Do you remember that story?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And to actually talk to Janette, who knew, and I never met my grandpa. He died a year before I was born, and she knew him by name,
That's
like
so
Wilfred.
Weird.
And I did more, and my grandma just passed, and there was 2 Okes, 2 of Janette's cousins at my grandma's funeral.
So it's so crazy.
So the Ruggles, which her maiden name, knew my family really well. And my grandma had just started rereading all of the books.
Oh my God.
And I have a picture with my son and her in Wynn Calls the Heart, the little book that she's reading. And my grandma just started rereading them, and she got to 15 books, and she's 94. And she had just started like a month ago. So she was blasting through it. Yeah. And so I think that the Hearties are really, really unique in the sense that they care they care in a way that's like it's such a family. Like they're way more influential than the Bitten fans, which is like sci-fi, which is quite a genre. They're way more active and way more supportive, and just I've really received a warm welcome from them, not even knowing if I was good or bad or evil.
That's true, right?
And I took a picture of that. So
Quite
sweet.
proud.
At least they got the picture. She took all
there
the
we
pictures at the.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Thank you, Janette.
Yeah.
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 Yeah,
No.
that's
So the Hearties have been so supportive. It's unbelievable. I love them.
Oh, we love them
We
too.
do love them very
And
much.
before we wrap up, we know that the ALS is a very dear thing and close to your heart. Can you talk a little bit about your charity?
Yeah. Well, I'm involved with a couple different. I work with ALS.net, which supports this incredible biotech lab in Boston that does precision medicine to try and find a cure. And they're the only nonprofit biotech lab, that has 100% of their resources going towards finding a cure for ALS. And for those of you that don't know, ALS is amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, and it's Lou Gehrig's disease, and what Stephen Hawking still has and somehow is alive, which
that's amazing.
The average is 2 to 5 years. So
Right.
I think he has something else going on that's keeping his lungs from collapsing. It's quite a gnarly disease to watch my dad, who is very strong and very manly, and go from flying airplanes and motorcycles to not being able to lift his arms, really fast. So I'm my brother and I did an art show here in Santa Monica at the Santa Monica airport last year, and Hallmark was the one of the main sponsors that actually gave us the money to get started and to get the space that we needed to rent the hangar. And Candace, of course, and Danica, and every one of my co-stars that I've worked with came out and supported and donated a ton. And we raised $100,000 in 2 hours on a live auction.
Very good.
Wow.
Yeah, from really great artists. I mean, we had some really incredible. Shepard Fairey, who does the Obey Giant.
Yeah.
He painted an ice bucket for us. So we had like 10 ice buckets, and Tay Diggs, my friend, did an ice bucket, and those were auctioned off. Danica did one of her books, and that book raised $300 just for this little book that was signed by her. Anyway, I'm committed with my brother, who's also a really beautiful artist. I'm going to try and get Steven, my brother, to paint Hope Valley, that picture. He does oil on canvas, and I know there's a couple other. There's this amazing woman that did a portrait that I saw. She painted of me as Carson. Is it Jordan?
Jordan Blackstone.
Oh,
Blackstone.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah,
she is.
shout out to Jordan.
Shout out to Jordan. Sorry, I forgot your
painting
name.
something for me right now.
Yes, yes, for her.
She-
She is. I requested something.
She's incredible.
Yeah,
She is incredible.
Talented.
Really. So my brother,
That's
thank you for doing that. My brother and I are going to do another show, hopefully in the next few months here in Phoenix, where he lives.
Okay,
He's got a
very
little
good.
art gallery there, and he's got his own paintings, and we're going to try. Candace has said she will give some of her books, and Linda Gray, you remember Linda?
I met her. I love her. She's so nice.
She also did some books for
Oh,
our
my
event.
God.
She's
Yeah.
so these.
She's
So
nice.
yeah, it's going to be a good ending, a happy ending to this story of ALS that doesn't end with just more people losing their fathers or their brothers. Or we have the ability to do something about it, and I really think that we can do it.
Yeah. And before we end our show, as a thank you for joining us on AfterBuzz TV, we here, Maria, James, and I have donated to your ALS
Your charity.
charity.
Oh, thank you guys.
So thank you.
Really appreciate that.
Yes.
Thank you. That is really sweet.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining us.
I
It's
know.
been
You're
a
welcome.
great episode, but before we go, we have to do
Oh, predictions.
predictions.
Hey, predictions.
Ah. Oh, there it is.
Here it is. Listen, see.
Your AfterBuzz TV
Predictions.
Prediction time.
My voice is a little deeper than yours. Sorry.
Wow.
So good.
Predictions.
Predictions.
I have crazy predictions, you guys. And
Okay.
okay.
Go.
Yeah, I'm gonna lay it down.
Do it, girl.
Doug, we like him so much. I'm afraid he's gonna die.
Same here.
Yeah, I feel like he's
preview.
gonna. Unfortunately, he's gonna die. We don't know how, but the problems in the
Yes.
Northern
He's turning away. He's turning away.
Yep.
He's turning away.
He's just
That
confirming
preview.
my diagnosis. Or he's
What?
confirming right.
No.
Yes.
I think Doug's gonna die. Jack is going to feel responsible, and he's going to want
Yes.
to avenge his death. We
I
see
agree.
in the preview that there's a telegram. I think that's when he finds out about Doug's
I agree.
death.
I agree.
Because And then now we also, I think Jack is eventually going to go and help the Mounties. They need him.
They need him.
And essentially, he's going to get drafted.
He has to go off. He has to go off. Like you said, it's a time period, right? He has to go off,
Yeah.
right?
Interesting.
I think so, but I think the telegram that he gets, it's the news that his friend
I
Doug
agree. I
died.
agree. I agree with that. I agree with that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And then when Jack leaves and fights, he comes back and be like, Elizabeth, where have you been my whole life? We're going to get married. Please marry me.
Well, there you go, guys.
And
okay.
that's the proposal.
Okay, I can see that.
Oh.
Okay, I can see that.
Interesting.
You're all zooming
Throwing it
to
out
zooming
there.
to Paul's face, see his reactions. He's turned to the side. You can't see his face.
Yep.
I don't know.
But yeah.
You guys,
See, the thing
you
problem
guys are doing great.
Doug is such a likable character. I was
Exactly.
like, no, he's gonna die.
He's too likable. I agree. I agree with that.
Can't get attached to him. All right, James, real quick before we leave.
No, I mean, you basically. I was going to be mine. I was going to say I think he's going to die. It's going to catapult Jack and you further, and the teacher fight's going to be really tough. Elizabeth's gonna have to really look into herself. Like she came as a teacher. That's what she came here for. She's gonna fight for those students. It's gonna be tough. That guy is gonna be good.
She's saying, don't worry.
Yeah.
I think this problem's like, no, one and done.
Yeah.
Get out of here, Mrs. Stoneman.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much for joining us.
You're welcome.
This
you
was
guys
so much fun.
You guys are terrific. I really enjoyed myself.
Well,
Oh,
you're
good.
welcome back
Yes.
anytime.
Okay.
Yes. Anytime.
So thank you, Hearties, for joining us every single week. James, where can we follow you?
Oh, wait. Hi, I'm James Lott Jr. You can follow me at James Lott Jr. on all social media platforms.
And Paul, where can everyone keep following you?
Paul Greene Media on Twitter and PG Tipper with 2 P's
Awesome.
on Instagram.
Great, and you can follow me on Twitter at Serafini TV. You can follow all of us here, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all those fun social media platforms at AfterBuzz TV. Keep rating, keep commenting, keep subscribing.
Comment.
And we have more fun things coming. Thanks so much, Paul, and we will see you next time.
Yeah, thank you
Bye,
guys.
Hearties.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Nice stab in their face.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.